Hello, welcome to this how-to. Today we're going to be looking at how you can take your high-level strategy and break it down into individual agile chunks. Okay, so the approach we typically use to help organizations to connect top-level goals all the way down to the individual pieces of work is referred to as a value tree. We find this really useful because it gives you a visualization that helps everyone to understand the individual piece of work that's being done, how, if often does that connect up to the top. And so that allows you to see if you're spending time on something that isn't actually that important to the company, and also ensures that people working on those individual pieces of work really understand why they're doing them. It's very simple to build a value tree like this. When you're starting out, I'd actually recommend you take your current setup and try to describe it in this way. So start from the bottom, look at the individual pieces of work that you're currently working on, look at the organizational goals, and then try and connect those up with sort of divisional goals potentially in the middle if you require them. That makes it really easy to see if you've got any gaps. If there's any way you're doing work that doesn't directly connect to your organizational goals, you can see that straight away. And then you can start to ask the questions about, is this the right thing to be doing? On top of that, it will give you a picture that you can share with the teams and help them to understand why they're doing the work they are. Once you've got used to doing that, you can use it the other way as well. So you can start top down and you can plan your work, your upcoming work, by describing the organizational goals and then breaking those down as part of your planning process in order to make sure that the goals you're going after and the investment you're making is aimed at delivering those sort of organizational level goals. Now, I've been talking about organizational level goals so far, but it doesn't have to be focused on that. We can also do it at a sort of more detailed level. I've seen it used a lot sort of for sort of product areas. So you have a senior product person who wants to understand sort of how the different products within their area are all laddering up to provide the product goals for their product area. And it's really effective in that space too. When you're doing this, there's some sort of key watch outs. So when you build it, just make sure that you're not that you have got genuine goals, not solutions. As soon as you move to solutions, you're sort of tying people down early, and you're losing that sort of flexibility and agility that you need. This quite often happens if you're designing outside of the team. So if you've got some sort of architecture or something happening sort of outside of the teams, just make sure that's not impacting and constraining the teams and their ability to sort of be agile and react to what they learn and what they see in front of them. Make sure that teams don't have multiple goals. This always seems like a great idea to get more done, but actually all it means is you'll get stuff later. So in order to get value as early as possible, really try to help teams to focus on an individual goal and then roadmap out. If you want to achieve multiple goals, absolutely have that on a roadmap, but help the teams to focus on one goal at a time. Similarly, just make sure the goals are really clear for the team. Like we say, we don't want to solutionize and we don't want them to be solutions, but we want them to be really clear what success and what good looks like. So avoid making them fluffy. Measures can be really useful for this, and we'll touch on measures shortly. And the last point, which sounds a bit strange, is it's important that not all the work has to be successful. Overall, you're looking to achieve your company goals in an effective way, but that doesn't mean that every single individual piece of work needs to be successful. If you're aiming for each individual piece of work to be successful, you're going to be doing a lot of groundwork to get that set up, and it's going to take a lot longer than it needs to. Much better to have a go at a number of things, understand what success looks for, and then stop doing them if they're not giving you the success that you need. That way you can ensure that overall you're being successful while sort of preening away the items early that are not giving you benefit. So we mentioned measures before. Once you've got sort of goals in place and you're really comfortable with that and they're describing how your organization is set up, it's really useful to layer some measures onto those. And these measures should naturally connect. So you should be able to see that this measure will directly impact this, and this will directly impact this. We'll do a session talking about sort of leading and lagging measures and how these fit together to give a bit more detail. But it's useful to start thinking about how will you measure if you've been successful, and that really helps teams to understand their goal and be really clear about whether they've achieved it or not. Another question that often comes up is, how do you have multiple teams working on a goal? That's fine. You can have multiple teams either to provide sort of capacity because you want to get through, you want to do more towards that goal, or capability because you need skills from multiple teams to achieve that goal. Either way, that's absolutely fine. You have multiple teams working towards a goal. I'd strongly recommend not setting out a solution and then breaking that down for individual teams to provide their part into, but instead support the teams in collaborating together to achieve the goal together. We're going to be doing future sort of articles and videos about collaboration and how you can make that work effectively as well. So sort of keep an eye out for those. Okay, so that is a very quick run through of how you can use a value tree in order to connect value from the top of your organization or of your product area or whatever part of the company it is that you look at, all the way down to the individual sort of work items, and help teams to understand how their work fits into the bigger picture. I hope you found that useful. Please stick around for future videos exploring some of the other related items that we've mentioned.